Do you by chance have a link that I could drop in the Discord?
Yeah. So we started the stream right now.
Sweet.
I'll get a link
Be awesome.
going.
Just drop it in there for the homies.
Um,
Do you by chance have a
there we go.
sure? I'm gonna drop this in the Discord real quick and ready to go. All right, let's hope some of the champion fam come through. Already dropped it. Good to go.
All right. So we'll just kind of start up, and then they can obviously scroll back, which is kind of a nice feature with these live videos, and scroll forward and whatnot like that. So
Yeah, perfect.
we got Ergo Champions here with us today, and he's going to be giving us a little bit of the rundown on his project, some of the things about it, why he's in the Ergo space, and just some of the more intricate details to being a dev slash developer of a NFT project. So
Yeah,
first up,
awesome, man. Well, thank you for having me.
yeah. So let's just get into it. So why the Ergo Champions? Like, what's the lore is there, but why the night? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. So, I am a bit of a nerd when it comes to medieval fantasy. My project actually originally comes from inspired by RuneScape. So I'm sure you've probably heard of that game. It's super old. Most people who play it are like, I don't know, mid 20s, early 30s sort of thing. So RuneScape and my love for just, magic spells and cool armor and that sort of thing kind of inspired Ergo Champions. And with that, a knight, for example, it's just kind of how it fits in. So RuneScape, you can either have like hand-to-hand combat, you can be a mage, so you have, wizard staffs, wizard armors, shields, that sort of thing, or you can be a ranger or what a lot of people refer to as an archer. So I'm actually having 3 seasons of Ergo Champions, and each season will be based on a different combat style. So season one is called combat. So obviously that refers to hand-to-hand combat. You have your helmets, your shields, your swords, your armor, and yeah, I'm a sucker for a good story. So I tried to incorporate some lore, tried to incorporate some utility. I think that was something that was kind of lacking in the Ergo space. So utility is something that was a must for us. So that's kind of why there's a knight and why it's medieval fantasy based.
So we'll never get like a giraffe then. That would just
Oh,
totally be out of the question.
drafts are not in the plans.
Not in the plans. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like there's a lot going on there, and especially with the lore with RuneScape and just and you know you talk about that, and that's RuneScape as a game. So yeah, I mean it's definitely within the sphere, right?
Mm.
Uh, so just continuing with it, I mean, you've built it from the ground up basically. What would you say some of the challenges are?
Oh man, there's a lot of challenges, honestly. Like when I first got the idea to come up with an NFT project, like I'm super passionate about it, and that's kind of helped me, like just having that drive. But challenges. So I know at the beginning you kind of referred to me being a dev or developed a NFT project, which is half
Um,
true, but I'm mostly just I organize events. I'm the creative part behind the project. I'm the founder. But when it comes to the dev side, like that was a challenge because I have absolutely no coding skills at all. I took like grade 10 computer science, like, oh my God, probably 13, 14 years ago. And I basically passed only because a dude beside me would like do all of my coding for me. So I have no coding experience, so we actually had to hire a front end and back end dev for Ergo Champions. I don't know if the devs would feel comfortable with me just saying their names on this live stream, so I'll refrain from doing that. But I can kind of give you guys a hint in that if I said their names, probably every single person would know who they are. They're absolutely fantastic. So finding a dev to take on the job was, I would say, the biggest challenge because we have a fairly large collection, and I don't want to have to mint like a billion NFTs by hand. That would just take way too long. And I just think having your own website is it's just a little bit more professional, and it shows that you're serious because you're not going to go through this undertaking of hiring devs, hiring artists if you're not serious about your project and if you're not willing to give it your all. So another challenge I would say as well is the art, right? So I have to find an artist because I'm also not an artist. So I'm mostly the creative mind. I think of, the lore, what I want them to look like. The artist I actually have brought into the Ergo ecosystem. So some of you know Banana Warrior. That's our artist. And this man puts up with me like no other because I'm a perfectionist through and through. Uh, Amount of revisions he does for me is just he's the best. So he's so kind. So I'm very thankful that I found an amazing artist who puts up with my perfectionism because I really try to implement my vision, even though I'm not the one drawing it. Like what you guys see is really like as close as you can get to my vision. And again, just working with the devs, two fantastic gentlemen. They've created a very seamless minting experience. Shameless plug, our mint is still live, friends. Um, but yeah, so I'd say the art for sure is a challenge. Getting two devs who are willing to take it on, who also are taking on other projects, who are very busy. Um, I actually contacted one dev before them, and he was just so booked up that he couldn't do it. So I was like, oh crap, like how am I gonna find somebody? So luckily I did, and found two of the best people in the business. And then I would say the third challenge is probably just finding a way to offer utility. Because, okay, so this is kind of what I thought getting into the Ergo NFT space. There's a lot of fantastic artists, like super talented, but a lot of the NFT projects on Ergo don't really go past aesthetics,
Yeah.
which is that's totally fine, right? Like art has intrinsic value, and I truly believe that. And I will buy NFTs myself just based on the art. You can see my profile pictures in Ergosaur, right? So I wanted to kind of separate us with a lot of other projects, and that's not to downplay any other project. So many fantastic projects, but so offering utility. So our utility is kind of, can I say, it's based essentially on a lottery system. However, our lottery system is kind of on steroids. And
I see.
what that means is, for example, you buy a lottery ticket, right? And you pick your numbers and the lottery comes and say you don't win. Well, your lottery ticket's dead. You can't use it again. For us, our consistent giveaways and champion holder tournaments, your NFT is a lifetime pass. So your lottery ticket is forever, which is kind of cool. And then we just have some fun events, like we have a customize your champion event coming up. And yeah, just different ways to offer utility, have fun events. We have Royal Rumbles in the Discord. Yeah, I'm going on a ramble here, but that's
Yeah.
essentially,
No.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I think I think you hit a lot of the highlights, which is that, there's a lot of projects being built, and we've seen even more rug pulls, I think. I don't know half of them off my head, but there has been rug pulls. And just looking at Sky Harbor, I mean, even like the amount of Ergo Champions on Sky Harbor is, kind of small compared to some projects. Like they seem like they're selling pretty well. And you have consistent volume, which definitely means that you got some people behind you for sure.
Our community is wild in the
Yeah,
Discord. I'll tell you, like, again, not to downplay other projects, but I'm in most NFT projects Discords, and a lot of them are pretty damn dead.
yeah,
There's not a whole lot of conversation going on there in our Discord, and we got some of the coolest Ergonauts in there, and we're just like chatting about crypto and life like every day. It's pretty sweet.
yeah. No, I have it on my phone too, and I left it on notifications for like a week, and I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. I was like, it's coming in 24/7, like, and then I make a chance to get in there whenever I can, but there's just always so much going on, and it's just really awesome to see that. I mean, there's announcements or chat in just about every single channel. So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely not like a lot of other projects. You're right. Um, so I mean, going off that, I mean, in people and just kind of the space, do you think Ergo Champions is a project for someone just entering Ergo?
Yeah, and I would honestly say almost all NFT projects on Ergo are pretty beginner friendly. I'd say NFTs on Ergo are a very beginner friendly space. So minting, just in general, say you want to mint one on the Ergo auction house, super easy. You want to buy one on Sky Harbor, super easy. Buying on the auction house is like slightly more tricky maybe than Sky Harbor, but it's still very easy. And just based on your back to your question, just if Ergo Champions is easy for someone just entering the space, for sure. Like we got a great community behind us who are super helpful, super friendly. They'll point you in any direction you want. I am extremely active on Discord and Twitter, so if you ever have a question, I will respond like super quick. Unless I'm at work or something, like I'm pretty much always responding and conversing with the homies. So yeah, it's just very easy to get into. Also, shout out to our front end and back end devs. They have made our minting experience so freaking easy that a monkey could do it. Literally, all you do is go to ergochampions.com, click on how many you want to buy, and then using Nautilus Wallet, you type in your trading password. It's so easy. So yeah, I think it is good for a beginner, and also our utility is fantastic. Our giveaways, like we've given away so many NFTs. Like I want to say I don't know the exact number, but probably close to $2,000 worth of NFTs. And I know a lot of people who have actually just made money winning giveaways and still have their NFTs. So kind of goes back to what you're saying. You don't see a lot of champions on Sky Harbor. So there's a little over 300 in existence, and I don't know how many in Sky Harbor, but there's probably less than 10%. So people are holding, which is really nice. I would like to think people believe in us long term. I have a passion for this and a drive, so like I don't get burnt out because it's fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think most NFT projects are pretty solid for anyone entering.
Well, you kind of go back to that, and it's like this lottery system. It's like you kind of just sign yourself up for like basically what is the first instance of actual, uh, almost like a membership to just getting like free stuff, like
Yeah.
just randomly happening here and there. Which I don't. I mean, other projects give away too, but I think you guys give away a lot more frequently, and it seems like it's more of a lottery system, like you said. So I
Exactly. And just quick shout out to the Azarus team who take our snapshots. Gotta plug them in here because Chris or Cripside Profit does not ask me for a damn thing, and he does it freely. I try to throw him like a little bit here and there, but sometimes he just says no, like I'll do it for free. So sorry to cut you off there, but
yeah,
Azarus, professional project right there.
for sure. So we talked a little bit about the RuneScape, and just the gaming side of things. Is there a future? Is there a future game here, or is it just kind of the lottery system and maybe some more utility beyond that?
So game, yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me because I feel like the champions like would work really well into a combat style game, like a Mortal Kombat sort of thing, or just like a one-on-one face-off. At this time, just being transparent, no. I think if I was to take on a game, being the perfectionist that I am, God, I don't know. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to half-ass it, and the amount of work and funding that could potentially take. Um, so I'm gonna say there's probably not going to be a game. However, I'll give a little bit of a hint, and this is not concrete at all. But I've reached out to a couple projects about, they could potentially use our champion in a game that they make. So say they want to use our NFT. Oh, in a game, I even reached out to Ergo Games. They were kind of already set with the Monster Pup Brawl. They didn't need any more characters, but they said potentially in the future they could maybe incorporate a champion, which would be really cool. And I've talked to another community member who's it's very low key, and I'm not going to give too much away, but may be able to use a champion in his game. So I might not create one myself, but I do foresee in the future champions probably being utilized in other people's games.
Yeah, that sounds actually really cool. So basically, you get to use your champion in other people's games. Yeah, that's interesting actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I mean, they have EGIO. So would you ever consider just kind of branching them onto that then, if you said other people's games?
So can you elaborate what you mean by that?
So the Ergo games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just basically the games that they come out with.
Yeah.
Okay. If they want to bring a champion in, by all means, I would be so happy to oblige them. If any, just for anyone who's listening right now, if you come to me, and you want to use one of our NFTs in your game, I'm not gonna say no. So hit me up.
Yeah. We're trying to maximize utility here.
That's right. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I'm huge on the gaming, right? I like the NFTs that have gaming behind them because I feel like I would actually do that, seeing as the fact that I'm on the computer and I like to play games. And I think a lot of it is in the crypto space. You maybe were on for the last EGIO Twitter live space that happened. Maybe not. It was kind
Yeah,
of
it
midday.
was.
Um, but it's kind of on that you play, you play for fun and you play and earn just kind of at the same time. And there's not a whole lot of games like that are really in the crypto space. So it's good to see that people are trying to build a project that's both fun and interactive. Hence like your lottery system and things are going on and people aren't just there just kind of like sitting there just wanting profits. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah. I
otherwise,
feel like. Yeah. Go ahead.
otherwise you'd see just a lot of these just up on Sky Harbor. Just you have a lot of people that are committed to just this mindset of gotta stack champions.
Mhm. Exactly. Like there's so much price speculation in NFTs, and there's not a whole lot of use case. So, yeah, like I love gaming as well. You would be disgusted by the amount of hours I have in RuneScape. I started at 10 years old, and I'm 29. So, I've been playing for 19 years. I have like, oh my God, so too many hours, way too many hours. So, yeah, anytime you can use an NFT in a game is super cool. It goes from just being a collectible. It goes from just being a speculative price flip sometimes to being like actually usable in a game. And I know you're a big fan of the mummies and the goats, and I know that they both have. I think the goats they already have a game out already.
Yeah, something like that. It's actually funny that you say that. I'm looking at our chat now and trying to check up on it, and LG Meister or the dev for Ergo Games and Ergo Goats is in the chat, and he's trying to plug himself now too. So he says he's always available to help. So it definitely sounds like there's some potential there to integrate the champion sphere into the Ergo game sphere. So
That's awesome. Yeah, the more collabs, the better. Like, I love collabing with projects. So if you're listening to this, like, and you just want to do something funky, hit me up. I love doing it. It's super fun.
yeah, so going off that, I guess gaming is definitely in a realm somewhere. Maybe not directly or how I envision it or how anyone envision it, but it's there potentially coming. Um, so what is your background with blockchain and cryptocurrency? Where have you been
Mm.
before Ergo? Where did you get? You're like, oh, this community is terrible, or this community is great.
So not proud of it. Uh, got into crypto, I would say a year and a half ago, and it was kind of the hype around Dogecoin and those stupid decimal 0.00001 coins that everyone thought would make you rich. But very quickly, like the type of person I am, anytime I get into something, I think I have a bit of an addiction. Not an addiction, sorry, an addictive personality. I'm a bit of a obsessive person. Anytime I get into anything, like I go full force. And when I got into crypto, I'm like, I quickly realized, okay, Doge is shit. Shiba Inu is shit. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And then I just
Oh.
started researching like crazy. Um, I got into the Reddit forum r slash cryptocurrency, and that's where I found Ergo being shilled hard. And and I know you can't take advice from people on Reddit. It's a little bit, it's not smart, but I just thought, if there's this many people talking about it, all right, I'll take a look at least just to see if it's actually any good. And yeah, I started looking at Ergo. I'm like, holy shit, this is actually pretty good. And then deeper I got into the ecosystem, I'm like, okay, this is like a legitimate project, and somehow it's unknown. I would say mostly due to the lack of marketing funds, which is kind of good for us early adopters here. But even before Ergo, I was investing in Cardano a little bit. But it's kind of funny. Most people find Ergo through, say, Charles Hoskinson or something. I actually found Ergo first on Reddit, and then later learned, after having invested in Cardano first, that they were kind of semi partners, I would say. Um, that's kind of my background and what led me to develop on Ergo. I just think on Ergo, we're still small enough that can be seen.
Yeah.
Like if you build on Cardano and you're a new NFT project and you don't have hype behind you, or if you don't have contacts, like good luck
Yeah.
getting noticed. Or if you build on Ethereum, like good luck. Um, but on Ergo, you can literally go from having like zero followers on Twitter, and if you just make a Twitter account and start conversing with people on Twitter, the community is going to support you. If you're actually legit, if you don't seem scammy and you're actually like a genuinely good person, the Ergo community is better than any single community I've ever been a part of in crypto, and almost like anything in life. Almost like the Ergonauts, some of the coolest people and some of the nicest people out there. I feel like the Ergo community is kind of weird in the fact that like it kind of attracts like-minded people, just like helpful, genuinely good people who aren't super shilly and scammy and shady. Obviously, there's outliers in every ecosystem, but yeah, I just think I knew that if I worked hard enough and brought value and showed the community, hey, like I really do love this and I really want to do my best for you guys. I knew that the Ergo community would respect and honor that essentially. So I just think it's the community that led me to develop on Ergo, because I know a lot of like back end and front end devs have different reasons because of, say, Ergo script or just the technological features that Ergo has to offer. But because I'm not coding, for me, it's all of the community,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Hmm. Yeah, we just got a few more. We got one question in here from Kill It With Coffee. He's here for the brother, apparently.
Love it. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's the homie. What
Yes.
what got you into Ergo? Which I think you kind of pretty much touched on, but that was his question. Not really sure you could add really much more to it, but yeah, no, I totally agree with you, right? So I probably got into crypto probably 2 years ago. It was never really around the Dogecoin hype more than it was that I was bored and I was sitting around with a computer and I like just wanted to make money. So I would just look up like how can I make money with this? And it got me into this whole mining sphere and just kind of how you like it stuff got really wild. And that's when that bull run kind of started up, and
Mm.
mining was just out of control, and you'd have you know basic $400 graphics cards pushing out $4 a day. So
Jeez.
it's wild. And mining is definitely good. I think that's something that a lot of people overlook.
Mm.
Even with ETH going proof of stake, things is still price wise are not you know going super well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely like the mining for Ergo. I like that we've got pools setting up different incentives for people mining on them, even when the difficulty gets super, super high. And we had that whole thing where Ergo transactions were taking longer or just as long as ETH transactions probably. Um, so yeah, it's really cool stuff to see. And I don't know. I like Ergo a lot too, but I stumbled across it trying to figure out like what the next layer one was gonna be. And
Mm.
there was a few videos on Ergo, but there was nothing really like out there. Like it was always another coin, and you check the supply, and it'd be like 80 billion coins, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. Like
Yep.
I'm I'm gonna be like a tiny little like shrimp in this market. Like yeah, so I saw Ergo as a chance to like really get myself into a community very well established. I like that. I don't know. I like the NFTs a lot. I like what's going on in here. Just the general discussion, kind of like how I said, they're doing the play and play for fun and play to earn. So it's very, very cool. Uh, so just backpacking off that, what is something that you would want for your project at a push of a button, basically,
Mm.
if you could have it right now?
Good question. Oof. There's a few. Like if I could just push a button and I have this like amazing video game, for sure, I definitely wouldn't turn down like that for sure. Like I think if you have a video game on Ergo with your NFTs, like your project's gonna be hot for sure. You could see, again, the Ergo mummies when they drop, they get picked up pretty quick. The Digigoats get picked up pretty quick. Anything that has, pretty much utility or for gaming, people love it. Um, what else? I think more funding would be pretty cool. More funding would be ideal. I have a pretty good job IRL, but bills and cost of living is
Yeah.
pretty insane. So I can only dedicate so much money to the NFT project. But if I had more funding somehow, I've already spoken to our devs, and I guess I'll leak it. It's not happening yet, but it's potential. It has potential one day to happen. So we were talking about a 1v1, like an NFT versus NFT battle simulator, where
I see.
where two people would put their Ergo Champions in like a, I don't know, you put it in a little slot, and based on their rarity traits, they kind of battle, and one has a statistic of winning. And I don't know if it would be like a winner takes the other person's NFT, or if they would, bet or something.
Those are high
Night.
stakes.
Yeah, pretty high stakes, right? So I could use a night owl or something like that. But I asked what the price would be, and didn't get a firm answer, but I think it would be fairly substantial.
Yeah.
So if somehow we sell a crap ton of champions, and I'm also launching season two in February. So if that goes really well, I'm happy to pour profits back into the project. I love doing that. Most of our giveaways and prizes come from profits. So we'll see. I really hope that happens. But I think if I could have anything at the push of a button, I think those two things would be it. For
Yeah.
sure.
No, for sure. I think any project could probably benefit off funding.
Yep. Yeah.
um,
Exactly. Fundamentally.
this is this is kind of an interesting market too because I've seen Ergo at its peak so far, and not peak price wise, but I think right at the release of Sky Harbor, things got very, very interesting. The NFT game heats up really fast. And at that point, I pretty much just considered Sky Harbor probably like the go to for NFTs. So we'll see if that changes with the new auction house coming out. And, maybe there's some partnerships going on there too, right? So maybe some NFTs will only be on certain platforms. Maybe so. I don't know exactly how that would work, but there's a ton of opportunity here. And any project that's wanting funding or is willing to give incentives to receive funding is just, the community is, happy to give it, providing that it's, going towards the right cause. So that's really
Exactly.
cool stuff to see. Um, so yeah, so I ask all the people that I interview this kind of, and they kind of give me a direct answer sometimes, kind of not. Um, do you have a personal favorite champion, or you just purely like them all?
Oh yeah, I definitely have some favorites.
Some favorites.
So back to the lore, we have demigods and we have cursed champions. So it's not we actually have and some ultra rare champions as well. So we have some one of ones and we definitely have some regular champions as well. Um, I would say one of the demigods, and I might be mispronouncing the way Ergo says it because it has an Ergo term in it. But the way I say it is so the demigod is called the King of Autolycos. And I don't know how you say that mining algorithm term. Is it Autolycos or Autolycos? I say it Autolycos.
Yeah.
But that demigod looks so badass, and I think it's actually listed on Sky Harbor if anyone wants to go check it out. It's called the King of the Autolycos. What else?
It's funny that
Let's
you
say,
meant it's funny that you
yeah, go
mentioned
ahead.
that word because I say it even differently than that. I like call it like Achilleos.
Oh my God. You
Everybody,
never know.
this is a whole new question that's gonna blow up on Twitter. We need pronunciations.
I'm a friggin' teacher, man. I should know how to say these things. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. But yeah, that one, and then there's a cursed champion which is also listed on Sky Harbor, and it's called Vidir the Cursed. That one looks super cool. And
Yeah.
I think the same person owns both. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I know who owns both. And they're both
Yeah.
listed. So if anyone wants to go check them out, the King of the Autolycos and Vidir the Cursed, they look pretty cool, and they're on Sky Harbor, I think.
Yeah. And the art is amazing for those. I'm just looking at them right now. Um,
Yeah,
I have to agree. I think I like the king more than Vidir, but hmm,
yeah, cool.
it's very very cool. And this is all done by the Banana Warrior, right?
The legend. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was cool because he always wanted to have his own NFT project. I'm like, dude, you're this artist and you are creating NFTs for me. Why would you not
Just do it for
have your own
yourself.
project?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I don't know where to go. I don't like. I've heard of Solana. I've heard of Cardano. I'm like, dude, come to Ergo. Took like a month of convincing,
Yeah.
but I finally got him over, and seems like he's run with it. And people like his art too.
Yeah, his
Those
stuff.
banana warriors get
I
picked up
I
quick.
I will do a shameless plug on my own channel because I can.
Mhm.
But I kind of saw those Banana Warriors, and I saw that I think me and you had a bidding war on a few of them. I don't know exactly what
Oh yeah,
happened, but
100%.
but I had a few Nemesis wallets floating around in the auction house, and on there, or at least recently, maybe it seems like even with the difficulty or without the difficulty spike, it seems like basically if you hit a certain point and you bid fast enough, you basically get the NFT anyways, regardless if somebody wants it or
It's
not.
ridiculous. I know it's brutal. It's
So
brutal.
so my go-to I started bidding on the I got the collab one that was with um Blitz
Let's
TCG. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That one's sick.
So my initial thinking was, all right, it's kind of out there project and I really don't know what it's going to happen, but this one seems like it's probably if not one of the more rare ones that's going to be floating in there,
Mm,
seeing as it's a collab and I like the art too. It was cool and it was also going towards a good cause. So it was a three-way benefit really. And
exactly. Yeah.
I had like set my bid and I went to bed and I had an alarm set for like 5 a.m. like 30 minutes before the bid went up. I wake up at like 6 and I check my Ergo wallet for the first thing that I do. And I just see it sitting in there. So I got a bunch of a bunch of tweets after saying I got it, like, oh, I bid after you. Like, why?
Yeah. I know.
So,
The auction house has been rough lately. Like I got into a bidding war with the guy who won the Cyber Citizen Blitz TCG
yeah.
collab. And I actually had outbid him with 30 minutes remaining. I put 59 Ergen twice,
Yeah.
and it did not go through, and he won it with 58 erg, and I was so mad, but it's just it is what it is, and it
See,
went to a great guy,
see
so
that's
it's
see
all
that's
good.
my new strategy these days is you got to be like as long as you guarantee yourself within the last hour, you pretty much get it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're good to go.
yeah. Um so you mentioned a burn mechanism and I'm not sure off the top of my head. There's 1500 right now, right? Or is it 1200?
1,500 total.
1500 total.
1,200, a little bit under 1,200 are remaining because I think there's 300 plus out there.
Okay.
Something like maybe 305, 310. I'd have to
Okay.
check. Um, yeah, so burning a mechanism is a very light word. I'm actually going to burn the entire collection when season two drops. So if you guys want one now,
You
you should
better get
probably
them.
get it
Yeah.
because I'm burning the whole thing. And a lot of my community is not happy with that.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna just try to peddle these things for the next 3 years? Like 1,500 NFTs is just a shit ton.
Yeah.
And my, I guess it kind of goes to the saying like my eyes are bigger than my stomach. Ergo's so small, and getting into, building an NFT project, like I had no idea what I was doing in the first like 2 or 3 weeks. Like I was just rolling with it and learning everything on the go, and oh my god, the amount of things I've learned since we launched is insane. But my I was very optimistic, so I was like, oh, 1,500 seems like a good number. Other blockchains have like 10,000 collections and they sell out for a joke. But on Ergo, it's like if you sell even 50, like you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's a very small, tight knit, extremely supportive community, and I can't say that enough. Like anyone who has supported Ergo Champions, like thank you guys so much. Like we have the most supportive community in crypto. Ergo is fantastic. But yeah, so I'm thinking of dropping in February the season two. Art's already done for it. I
Hmm.
just need to come up with lore and tie in the utility between season one, season two. Um, yeah, whatever goes unsold, I might auction off like champion number one or something. Like a super rare champion. I might auction it off just so it doesn't get burned. But like
Yeah.
the rest of it, it's gone forever. So they'll be pretty scarce, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned
Mm.
these auctions. I think that kind of goes back to the collabs that Blitz TCG is doing right now. In his kind of fundraising for his own project, which I think is awesome. I feel like it was kind of like one of those Hearthstone games, but I've gotten into those games quite a bit as well, so I'm totally for it. Especially seeing that it's one of those games where it's not really a whole lot of like moving around. You're thinking more in your head than you are really doing much. Um, but you're having fun while doing it. So, with that said, you recently auctioned off, what is it? Five total?
Yeah.
No, it's like 10.
Five, the Blitz TCG
Yeah.
collab
Yeah.
one? Yeah, five.
Yeah,
Five of
okay.
them. Yeah,
So 5 and some of that went to charity, correct?
correct.
Yeah. So, what qualifies something as a charity worth donating to? Like what why this charity over that one? What's the uh
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel you. I get what you're saying. Yeah. So I have this like philosophy in life, and not to seem like a saint, like we're all far from saints, but I kind of feel like if we're living for ourselves, life is pretty pointless, and purpose should be to have a good impact on others to an extent. So, for me, what makes a good charity is something, I think it's just in your heart. I think it's what means something to you. So, personally, for me, most of the charities that I've donated to throughout my life have been things to do with kids. So, I am a teacher. That's
Mhm.
my day job. So, I have a soft spot for kids. And so, sick kids hospitals, Doctors Without Borders, those sorts of things. I try to find charities that will take 100% of your donation
Yeah.
and put it into the cause, because I know a lot are just, they take 50% for like their own profit, which is disgusting. Like it
Yeah.
pisses me off so much. But yeah, so what we're doing, and it's kind of nice. So, reason I'm donating to the Philippines, I don't know if I would call it a selfish reason, but my girlfriend is from there. She lives here with me in Canada, but that's where she was born, and she just talks to me about like the poverty there, and you know, it's funny like in Western countries, Canada, United States, we think we know what poverty is, but when you
Hmm.
really like see pictures or hear like firsthand stories of the poverty in other countries, like it does not compare. Like in Canada, that's where I'm from.
Yeah,
Um, Say you have no job, like no, like you're homeless, like you can still go to the government and get welfare check. Like
yeah.
there's somewhere to go where you can feed yourself.
Hmm.
In some third world countries, there's nowhere to go. Like you're actually screwed.
Yeah,
The government's not coming to save you. So luckily, instead of just throwing the Blitz TCG collab money to an organization where who knows where it's gonna go, um, so her family back home lives there, and we have sent money to a contact we have who's also a teacher, which is really cool. And he's going to be buying school supplies for children there at the school, and also donating money for groceries for families who are struggling. So,
for sure.
full transparency, all those receipts are coming. Everything will be posted on Twitter just for proof. And regarding the funds, so how we split it up, I know Blitz took all of his profits and gave it to the Ergo Foundation, which is amazing. For my profits, I took 50% to the Ergo Foundation and 50% to those in the Philippines. So that's how I split it up. I just thought, you know, Ergo devs, great cause, but let's help some people out too.
For sure. Yeah.
Why not?
There's a handful of projects that I actually donate to charity on Ergo. Um, I really only have probably contributed to the one on DigiGoats, which they donate goats to people who don't have proper animals in other countries. Which,
Wow.
um, like you said, it would be better to have an actual contact who who actually like needed the goat. You know what I mean? But then you also have to worry about, all right, how are we actually going to get the goat there?
Wait,
Like,
are you mean like a real goat?
yeah.
What? That's so cool.
So I think they've
That's crazy.
donated a total of 3 or 4 goats, like actual goats. Yeah, no, not digital goats. We're not giving them.
I was thinking, I'm like, are they gonna sell it for Ergo and then
Yeah,
like
no.
buy stuff?
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's a little bit interesting, but I didn't realize it. There's a lot of, I mean, you can do it with any animal, really. They have goats, they have bees, but that's like a source of income for a lot of people in those countries is their livestock and just doing that. And for some people, the livestock is actually just their main source of food. So, goat's milk, stuff like that. It's crazy. And
that is so
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, it'd be hard to figure out, all right, how are we gonna transport a goat over the seas?
Yes, that's so cool.
So yeah, for instances like that, I think maybe going to a larger corporation makes sense, unless you're a very large
Absolutely.
benefactor and you can afford to send goats on a ship and make sure that they get there okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So that's awesome.
yeah, anything to add to that?
No, I think that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I think why not pour a percentage of profits into a good cause, like to make the world a better place, right? And that's what crypto's all about,
yeah,
actually, right? It's evening the playing field. So I think that's kind of in the spirit of crypto in general.
for sure. So yeah, so moving on from that, what, if any, advice do you have for new projects thinking or already wanting to build on Ergo?
I like this one. Yeah, I have some good advice, I think. Um, a few things. Okay, first of all, make a Twitter account.
Yeah,
You need a Twitter account. You have to have a Twitter account. Make a Discord. Also very important. Build a community. That's what you need. You need a community. People who, support your project. And you'll become friends with them. It's not like a pure business relationship at all. Like you become friends with your community. It's really cool. So make a Twitter, make a Discord, build a community. be active as hell every day, every single day. At least say good morning to the homies. You have to do it. Uh, don't let your Discord go dead for 3 or 4 months and then come back. I mean, I don't want to sound bad or anything, but try to put some effort into it a little bit. Post on Twitter as much as you can. Try to be active and socialize with your community. Get verified on Sky Harbor.
Yeah.
That's also extremely important because people, a lot of NFT people are not going to like me saying this, but you have to have some sort of resale value
Yeah.
in order for a lot of people to want your NFTs because whether we like it or not, NFTs are very speculative price wise. And in crypto, a lot of people, I don't want to say are gamblers, but they they like to, have some plays on the speculation. So, and it also just shows that you're legit, kind of too, right? Like, I have this really, I don't want to say it's like a toxic opinion, but it's almost like if your project isn't verified on Sky Harbor, like, I don't know how much I trust
Yeah.
it. Like, that's kind of like the way I view it as a consumer because I'm not just an NFT project founder. Like, I have a lot of NFTs myself.
Hmm.
Um, like I have a ton. So I'm into it just as much as everyone else is. And if you're not verified on Sky Harbor, don't usually bother buying your NFT. And
Yeah.
if the verification's coming, that's different. If you've like, that's why Twitter's important. Like say on Twitter, we've applied for Sky Harbor verification, blah blah blah. It's coming. We all know it takes 2 weeks, whatever. Then that's all good. Then I know it's on the way.
Hmm.
But yeah, so be active, the community, verified on Sky Harbor, and offer value.
Yeah.
I think that's important too. Whether that's art, it doesn't have to be utility.
Hmm.
Art alone can succeed.
Yeah.
We see it with a lot of Ergo projects. Just the sick art. Like I will buy a project if I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just again, be active, community, Twitter, Sky Harbor verification. That's
Hmm.
what I would say.
I thought about this a lot myself, and the a few of the last individuals that I had on before basically just said exactly that. I actually had the dev for Sky Harbor on here, and he's also the dev for Ergo Source. So, he was basically saying the same stuff, but it's interesting to see what everybody's perspective is. So for you, it's like, oh, I have to get verified on Sky Harbor. But for him, it's like, well, he owns Sky Harbor, so
Yeah, he's
it's
already owns it.
like that wasn't really his first concern. It was more or less just like making sure that his he wanted Ergo stores are kind of a play on having like something that's very unique and very scarce. Um, and there's also like a little bit of community interaction going on in there too. Um, I don't want to say the Discord server is dead, but they definitely don't talk as much as like your server. But your server's maybe an extreme case. Like you guys are talking
It's
all the
wild,
time.
wild out there.
Yeah, it's wild. So, you know, um, yeah, like you said, it's important to have a Discord, a social media. I mean, at the end of the day, people want to know that there's actually like, there's gamblers out there, but then there's like people who like really kind of like want to know that like stuff's being done. Like,
Exactly.
so like for instance, I was on what is it? I would just go into the Ergo Mummies and the Ergo Goats Discord, and I would just commit myself to posting one message in there like every day if I could,
It's awesome.
um, just to like turn things up a little bit.
Mm.
I would be active in more communities that like I'm active in communities where I don't own NFTs, but I also try to be more active in the ones that I do. Maybe that's just taking pride in your investment, but
Mhm.
um I don't know. It's just cool to see like the other people that, had a like-minded decision. They're like, "Oh, I want to own a goat too, or I want to own a Ergo champion too." Or, I want to do these things, and, now you got the Ergo champion group, and I can play with all my Ergo champions now. So it's like it's very, very cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. And shout out to Ergosaurus too, because that's also one of the projects that I have quite a few NFTs in. Like I have like bunch of dino eggs, I don't know if anyone can see my profile picture, but it's the Hero Flames Ergosaur from I don't know if it was called like the superhero series or something like that, but I love the Ergosaurs, and obviously you look at Sky Harbor and those top two sales are both Ergosaurs, so the scarcity and that's a great idea too, like just having a scarce set of collection. Like Ergo Champions isn't like the most scarce project out there if we're talking regular champions,
Mm-hmm.
but we do have our one of one NFTs, which are, you know, you can't recreate a one of one. So we do have like a scarce section, but also a more common section, which still has
Yeah.
utility. So it's kind of a nice mix.
Yeah, for sure. The scarcity is, I think, something hard to balance. And, you said you've only got like 300 actually minted. Shoot, I'd say a perfect collection for anybody on Ergo is 333. If that's the number you want to start with, go with that. Like,
Yeah.
it's it's better to set yourself a low expectation and really just kind of exceed than just set something that's like super super out there. Like
Mm.
it's different because on Cardano you could get somebody famous on there and you could sell 10,000 NFTs in an hour. You would have no problem
Exactly.
doing that.
Mm.
On Ergo it's a little bit different, right? And a lot of the times the people that are buying NFTs aren't even maybe new individuals. You're actually getting people that are coming back. Um, and that I think only happens on Ergo really. I mean, maybe if you're like a really like a gambler on Cardano and you're trying to like scoop up all the ones that you have insider leaked information on and you're trying to resell them, then maybe that. But I think a lot of people in Ergo just genuinely support the space and they try to like commit themselves to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because, like, I've had people message me and say, you know, and some people call me Ergo Minnow, like that's my Twitter handle. Um, they'll be like, Minnow, I don't even like NFTs, but I bought one champion just because you wrote articles.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally just to support you. You know what I, like?
Yeah.
One guy literally said, I don't even like NFTs, but just to support you, I'll buy one. I'm like, dude, that's so nice of you. Like, you don't have to do that. So Ergo's we're a different breed of community. Ergo community is the best. It doesn't matter NFT, um, just being in the Discord, like in the Ergo platform Discord. You have a question, literally, a Ergo Foundation member will reply to you. Like, where else can you find that? So,
No. Yeah.
and also on the NFT side too, it's crazy on Cardano. Yeah, you can sell 10K in like an hour. But one thing I'll say about Ergo NFTs is when this heats up, it's gonna be nutty because I'm actually on Sky Harbor right now and I'm seeing it's kind of lagging a little bit. But let's say the weekly volume is like 1,000 to 1,500 erg, just for a number. Cardano will do that in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When Ergo becomes more mass adopted, the NFT scene is going to light on fire, and it's
Yeah.
actually going to be so cool.
No, I 100% agree. I think we're very, very early, and it's one of those things where there's going to be. I mean, not only Sky Harbor actually, we're going to be getting Auction House version 3,
Mhm.
whatever that offers. And I talked to the Ergo dev, and he mentioned that, or not the Ergo dev, the Sky Harbor dev, and he said they're ready to put in auctions as soon as they decide, or timed auctions, or just kind of a bidding war style. As soon as they take over the motto on Auction House of just doing a set price. So
Ooh,
things are ramping up and things are getting fast. So
I like it.
it's definitely out there. And like you said, yeah, no, it in Sky Harbor, just at number 5 I'm looking at right now. I have a totally different project that I've never even seen before called Erghost, and it's going. It's
Yeah, I know
yeah.
them. They're pretty active in the Ergo Champion Discord, and they're cool guys. I think the founder is No Raven.
Mm,
So from Disto, I hope I'm saying that right. Distoscapes,
yeah.
which I think are also verified. I actually have two Ergos myself, so they're pretty cool guys, and it's a fun little project. I like it.
Yeah. So, Man, I don't know how much time you have for me.
Yeah, I got more time. It's all good. I'm
So,
winding down.
you probably you were in the Dogecoin scene, so it's probably something that you would know. Would Ergo be better if it had the same background as Bitcoin and its mysterious creator? Would it be better if Ergo didn't really have um, a set known founder, rather it's just run by a community?
Controversial opinion coming.
Yeah,
A lot of people like the fact that Satoshi is anonymous and stuff like that. I don't like it.
yeah,
I think it's sketchy that there's a disgusting amount of Bitcoin in a wallet.
yeah.
That I know it hasn't moved and it probably never will. And I'm not too worried about it. I own a little bit of Bitcoin, so like, I'm not like too worried about it. But I would much rather prefer a founder to be doxxed. I would much rather uh, not have a ticking time bomb of a Satoshi wallet with a ton of Bitcoin in there. Again,
It's actually
speculation. Yeah.
it's actually an interesting problem because if that Bitcoin wallet ever gets exploited, I can only imagine what a person would do.
And think about like the price drop. You know what I mean? Like
It would be
it's gonna
severe.
nuke. Yeah, it'll nuke.
I actually
So
I'm pretty much committed to the logic that if any Bitcoin moves on that wallet, things are gonna go really high up or really high down.
I would lean towards down. I
Yeah.
think there would be some nutty things happening there. So, and I also like how Ergo's tokenomics are extremely fair and transparent. So I think the foundation had like 4.43%, something like that. And then the public, I'm just trying to do the math, like 90, 95 point like 47 or something,
Yeah.
to the public. And we know how much the Ergo Foundation has. Like we know the full circulating supply
Yeah.
of coins. We know that there's a cap. I think it's like 91 million coins or something like that. We know how much they have,
Mhm.
and be like I don't know. Just I think it's sketchy how Satoshi is anonymous, and we don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he's alive and just believes in the cause. Like we don't know, and I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's I subscribe to the idea or the theory that he's probably not alive
Yeah.
anymore. That would be my guess. Because I just think when Bitcoin hit 69K, if he is alive, I gotta think he's moving some of that Bitcoin out of there. Um, yeah, so I think Ergo. I don't think it would be better
Yeah.
if it was like Bitcoin. I like it how it is, to be honest.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, what if he is alive and rent gets tight? It's like, what? Sorry,
Oh,
guys. I gotta move some. I gotta move some.
oh man, biggest Ponzi ever. Oh my god,
Yeah.
crazy.
So what projects are you liking in the Ergo space? You said you had some Ergo goats, and what is it?
Yeah,
The
I don't.
Ergosaurs.
Yeah, so I don't have any goats, but I do have the ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, ghosts. I don't have too many of the ghosts. I have two of them. Ergosaurus is one of my favorites. Um, Dumb beans. I love me some dumb beans. Those things are hilarious. Um, those are one of the pieces of art that I'll buy just because it brings me joy. You see some of those things in like underwear and like burping with like bald hair. I think it's just friggin' hilarious. So dumb beans from an aesthetic point of view, I've always really liked. Price wise, like what am I bullish on? Yeah, Ergosaurus I think is just I think that's like one of the top tier ones. Obviously Ernoms, like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
What else do I own?
The
I
one
own
of ones basically turned the market.
exactly. I own a bunch of Aneta Angels, but that is highly speculative because after those net, I don't know if you know much about Aneta BC, but
Yeah.
if you own an Angel, they airdrop you a certain amount of Neta tokens based on the rarity or the
Mhm.
tier of your Angel, and prices have absolutely dumped on the Angels.
Yeah.
like tier twos were going for like over 100 erg.
Yeah.
They're going for like 20 now,
Yeah.
and that's because there's only I think 30% of the neta is left to be airdropped. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, however, I'm pretty bullish on Aneta BC in general, so I think they could bring out some utility in the future. I know that has some like mining utility, but I don't think it's enough yet to make it
Yeah.
really worth it.
For
But
sure.
long term, it'd be worth it to hang on to a couple of those things. I think Aneta BC is a pretty solid project, and I think they have some things up their sleeves. Um, so yeah, Ergosaurs, Umbeans, Angels. I like the mummies. I got a bunch of mummies. So I know you're bullish on the mummies.
Yeah.
Those gaming projects. What else do I have that I like? I'm probably forgetting things, and then I'm gonna go
Yeah.
check my wallet and be like, "Oh my God!" I actually have my wallet. Let's see what I
I
got in here.
I was I was in a Discord for the adventures. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're doing a lot of talk about different ideas, and they also want to do kind of a set lottery system, but they want to basically have it tick down basically. So one person gets drawn out and they're basically out, and then another person gets drawn out and they're out, and eventually they're left with one person.
Ooh, I
So
like that.
it makes it a little bit more interesting because you get to see, all right, I'm out. So like probably can't win this raffle, but maybe I'll be able to win the next one.
Yeah.
Um, which is kind of, I think it allows like a little bit more, I don't know, just more fun, I think. But
Hmm.
at the same time, it's like, oh, I got called first. No,
Yeah, then it sucks, right?
I got called first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting there. Yeah, shoot. Um, so yeah, I was just talking in there, and I was, giving them ideas for an NFT they should make, and all of a sudden, like the mint's happening, and they're like, "We made you an NFT. It's gonna cost you 7 ERG," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I had no
Oh.
idea you had signed up for a whitelist." So I was,
Yeah.
so I was like, "Yeah, we're backing early supporters," and I was like, "All right," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, here's the ERG, I guess," and now I got this cool profile pic.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, okay, it's cool art. I like what's going on here. People are active in there. The guy who's building it is doing all this stuff with Discord bots and trying to get. Um, maybe it'd be good for him to get in touch with Azarus, the
Yeah.
thing for snapshots and whatnot.
Mm.
So I know that he was trying to get token verification down in Discord, which I think is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Um, being able to have that process automated allows him to be more free and just do other things.
Oh yeah.
So
That's tough too, right? Like how like right now to verify someone holds an NFT is not intuitive at all.
no,
Um, you need some sort of dev background or technological background to be able to know.
yeah,
So yeah, that's super cool what he's doing. And I'm very thankful to our devs. Like, yeah, like I'm sure with enough perseverance, like we can be successful on our own. But it's so much better having some talented people working with you. Um, oh, also, I don't know why this is in my brain, but I forgot to mention Cyber Citizens as well.
oh yeah,
That's another project I'm very, very bullish on. But yeah, I would highly suggest trying to find somebody who can work with you and has a different skill set than you do.
yeah,
Um, they say no man is an island, and it's very hard to build an NFT project solely on your own. Like, I'm not even doing the dev work or the art, and this is like becoming a full-time job for me. This
for
is
sure,
becoming like I'm spending so much time on it, but I love it. Not complaining at all. I love it, but you need help. So you can find people too where you can offer them a percentage of your profits. Like some people won't even they don't even need money up front. You don't even have to put money out of your pocket. You could say, I'll give you like a certain percentage of equity of our project, all of
yeah,
like a certain percentage of profits, and a lot of people, they'll go for that. So if you don't have a ton of money in your bank, and some people will work with you without upfront,
yeah,
money. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's I'm bullish on a lot of things in the ergo space. I mostly just like the gaming ones, just because I feel like I can get the most utility out of those, and I would actually use them.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's important to be able to like I think they did like a study on what is it? It wasn't the sandbox. I think it was those metaverse tokens or whatever. I don't know what it was called.
Decentraland or
Yeah, it was Decentraland. They
Hmm.
found that like only 22 people were on, or
Oh
27
my
concurrent players, and it's like, wow, that's those are terrible numbers. It's
That's
like,
panicking. What is that, like a top 50 coin or something?
oh,
Like that's what
it's like a top 10 metaverse coin.
a metaverse coin. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
correct. But like 50 overall, which
Oh
is
yeah,
also
easily. Yeah.
insane. That's insane.
It was
Wow.
only ever like 27 concurrent players, and that's really like active players. So there's probably like a lot more that have just gotten on once, but they've just never
Mhm.
returned. Um, and
That's awful.
they all want money, but no one wants to be there to like incentivize in the community and like actually build. It's
Hmm.
it's terrible.
You
So
also need a game to be fun,
yeah,
right? Like,
you need it to be fun too. It's like I'm not gonna with the first Ergo Goats game, I wasn't huge on it because it was just roll a dice and you could do this stuff. The next
mm,
game is like more like I can move my goat around, I can shoot stuff, I can actually have input over my goat. Like that's what I want. I want to be able to have input over what happens with the goat, rather than just rolling a dice and it's like, oh, guess I'm not getting anything today. Like,
yeah, you want it to be interactive, right? Like that's the point of a game. And one reason I like RuneScape so much, right? Like you're moving your character around, like you're
yeah,
using special abilities, like those sorts of things. Like it's skill based instead of just, you know, eh, those are the type of games that are actually fun, and that's why I hesitate to really go ahead and make a game because like I just know what my expectations of what I would play is,
yeah,
and I don't know that I am going to undertake that. So,
for sure, for sure.
mm.
Um, so what's the next big thing in Ergo, in your opinion? What's is it DeFi? Is it Ergo Gaming? I guess DeFi is probably Spectrum Labs, in
Mm.
the decks. Is it I know they have a few lending pools that are happening right now, which is also DeFi, I would think. The staking
Yeah.
for Ergo. Trying to think of what else they have right now. The guap swaps, the mining
Yep.
pools. What do you think's big there?
Wow. Okay. So I'm definitely gonna forget some things, but just off the
Hmm.
top of my head, I've always subscribed to the fact that I think GetBlock.io might be the single most important dApp on Ergo.
Yeah,
I just think, miners secure the network. Uh, Without miners, like truly say like everybody stop mining Ergo, the project's gonna probably die.
yeah,
Any proof of work coin needs miners, and that's just a fact. So GetBlock.io is doing some crazy cool technological things with mining that I goes over my head. I really like Azarus, not just because they help out, but they're a UTXO blockchain intelligence platform. They're also reaching out of Ergo to like Nervous Network, Alephium, just other UTXO Alliance projects, which in Ergo, I don't see a whole lot of cross-chain collaboration, so I really like what they're doing. And the Azures team is full of literally brilliant people, like very highly intelligent people, which is what I look for when I'm investing in something. Is often who is running it. You can tell very quickly if somebody's on their game, if they're mentally sharp, if they're intelligent, and if they have social skills too. I think all of those things play a role. Rosenbridge is also pretty sick. Again, some of that tech goes over my head, and bridges have been known to be super sketchy in the crypto space. So if Rosenbridge, and I know it's a security first based bridge, which I really like, um, they're not focusing on mega fast transaction speeds, but on security, which I like. And I'm pretty sure MHS Sam, who is developing the Rosenbridge, I think on his Twitter bio it says that he's like a PhD in like cybersecurity. I could be misthinking that, but I think that's what it says, which is pretty sick. Like he's very very highly intelligent, very smart guy. Um, what else is really, really cool? Yeah, Duck Pools, so the lending platform.
Yeah.
I believe the Sky Harbor devs are kind of running that. Night Owl. I think Night Owl could maybe be monetarily the single most successful DApp coming onto Ergo because let's be real, people in crypto, they like to gamble.
Yeah.
Not all of us. I
I
don't
I
personally,
I see everybody in
but
Discord and they're like, the second it opens up, I'm betting it all on red. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
don't do it. No. I had a bad experience with gambling when I was like, I think in Canada, I think it's when you hit like 18 or 19, you can go right to the casino. And I think I lost like $200. And in that age, man, a lot of money. And I was playing Texas Hold'em, and I had this like sick feeling in my stomach that I'm like, okay, I never want to gamble again. But I think gambling is fun if you do it properly. Like if you set a limit for yourself, if you view it as entertainment and not a way to make money, then I think it's really healthy. I think it's fun. I will definitely be going on Night Owl once in a while, but I think they're going to be maybe the most successful DApp on Ergo. So I think as far as bullishness goes, whether you agree with gambling platforms or not, Night Owl is going to bring a lot of eyes to Ergo. There's no question about that. It's extremely hyped up and it's going to be very popular. Um, what else is on Ergo? Spectrum Labs or Spectrum Finance, I guess they're called. How can you not be bullish on that? Especially, you know, moving to I think they're doing like cross chain with Cardano. I think that's going to be amazing because with Ergo, the casual investor doesn't know how to buy it. Really don't. Like KuCoin, Wobi, and like I don't know, CoinX or Trade Ogre, like all these like kind of obscure exchanges. Like the casual investor wants to log on to Binance or to Coinbase and buy their crypto. And I think Spectrum is doing great things because if you can swap your data for ERG, that's going to make it a lot easier for people to buy ERG because a lot of people don't want to sign up for new central exchanges. They don't. They're like, oh, like ERG was pretty cool, but like it's kind of hard to buy. So, like I have wanted to invest in a project, and because they're not on my central exchange of choice, I just didn't because I'm just not bothered to put in all my information and sign up, sign up, sign up. So I think Spectrum and Night Owl probably the two I'm bullish on most. But I'm sure there's so many more that I'm like ErgoPad. Like how
Yeah.
can I forget ErgoPad? Yeah, I could go on, but yeah,
Yeah, there's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
great
them
things.
for sure.
Mm.
I think it's hard to be bullish on have a diversified portfolio on everything. I think it's the hardest
Yeah,
part. Um, so I think you really just have to be committed. And going back to gambling, it's best to lose money when you're young because at least then,
mm.
you know, hopefully you're making more money as you like grow older, but you're making money when you have less money, or you're losing money when you have less money rather than having
Good
more.
good
Um,
point.
so it's always good to kind of, I would actually encourage that they open up the casinos at like 15 or 16. Then when you
God.
actually like, then when you actually, it'd be good for people to realize like, oh yeah, this is not good because
Yeah.
a lot of people go in there and they have like a savings or something, or
Mm.
maybe they have like a casino where like there's no drinks or alcohol or
Yeah.
anything, and they let like 12 and 13-year-olds come in there and gamble $10, and
Oh
it'd be
my
good.
God.
It's a good experience to know that it goes just as fast as it comes in. So
Oh yeah. They'll lose their lunch money and be like, "Oh, I'm kind of hungry. I
I'm I'm
shouldn't go back."
I'm kind of hungry. I don't know if I want that to happen. I think it's one of those things where I think it's once you're like 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe you start working, you're like walking in there, you're gonna be like, all right, I put down $1,000. It's like if you had lost $20 a few years ago, you'd be like, I don't know if I'll go in there, or at least you'd be maybe
Uh,
a little bit more smart about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, trust
So
me. Like every hard lesson I've learned in life, luckily, was when I was young,
yeah,
and it hurts in the moment, but 5, 10 years later, you're like, okay, blessing in disguise.
yeah, for sure,
Mm.
for sure. Yeah, I don't have any more questions for you, and I don't know if we have any more questions in the YouTube chat. I don't think we do. We have one from Kill It With Coffee. He says he's bullish on Cyber Citizens, and
Mm.
one from Eric's Huxley. He says he's bullish on Padia, which I forgot about.
Yeah,
Padia is
yeah.
also pretty big.
I think a DAO is definitely kind of what's missing on Ergo right now too. Um, like I know Walrus DAO. That there's another NFT project with the DGen divers. They're going to be utilizing Padea, which I think is also run by the ErgoPad guys. I think Marty is heading Padea as well. So there's definitely competent people behind it, and just the more use cases that can come onto Ergo,
Yeah.
I'm all for. As long as it's a legit project. Like there are, I won't name any names because I don't have any proof, but there are some projects on Ergo right now that are coming out that are pretty new, and they're talking about already like, selling things. And again, I'm not going to name names, but I I don't know. Like I really like to know a little bit more who's behind it and maybe spend a little bit more time in the ecosystem before.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like to know that the person behind a project is competent. I like to know that they're dedicated, that this isn't just like a short term sort of thing. Like, I want you to be around for a while. So, yeah, I love ErgoPad and Padea because I know that team is incredibly talented, competent, and dedicated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't have any more questions for you. Let me check the chat one more time. I
Cool,
don't
cool.
see anything. I don't know. Do you have any questions for me as somebody
Okay.
who's just kind of doing this?
Yeah, why are you doing this? What
Uh,
got you into it?
that's a great question, and one of the questions that I actually ended up answering with the other dev too, but maybe it's changed a little bit. Um, so I currently attend college, which allows
Okay.
me to be both very, very busy sometimes and very, very flexible other times.
Right.
Um, so it's just one of those things where sometimes I'm posting a lot of content, sometimes I'm not posting none at all.
Mm.
And my goal really in this space is just to get people educated. I know that just being in the server, I remember spending a night, and the goats were just going wild. They're selling like wildfire, and we end up there was a one of one that got listed on the auction house, and it was there was yeah I think a legit one that actually went on the Sky Harbor marketplace, but the same one was auctioned off on the auction house a little bit later, and it was a fake, and somebody paid like 250 erg for it.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so yeah, it's it's out
That's
there,
rough.
and I don't I I feel bad because the you see on YouTube like all those videos with like, oh, send in one ETH and we'll give you two back. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God.
I feel bad for like the people who are just they're not really super into crypto, and for
Mm.
them it probably is believable. It's like, oh, like they're staking. This kind of makes like this makes sense. Like I could actually get two ETH if I send in my one ETH. And yeah, I just feel so bad about it. I like going over the stuff too in a more um just a better way. I think people need to be able to like listen to stuff. So for those who have YouTube Premium, they can always just like listen to my videos and I talk about stuff.
Right.
So in some ways it's a podcast. In some ways, it could be a lot of other things. I don't know. I thought about going on other platforms, but I feel like YouTube is probably the best place to be right now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. I mean, everybody goes on YouTube, so
You can't go
it's
wrong with
yeah,
YouTube.
it's good it's good awareness for Ergo as far as marketing goes. I know that Ergo's marketing is pretty much all, I would say, peer to peer. Honestly, you mentioned getting
100%.
Ergo Banana, or not Ergo Banana
Banana Warrior.
Warriors on uh yeah, on Ergo, and just convincing him to get on here. So it's definitely peer to peer, and I think a lot of people, we'll probably hit an inflection point, whether that's Ergo getting listed on Coinbase and all the people who buy any Coinbase coin the second it gets listed are suddenly like, well, what did I just buy? So whether it's that, whether it's Binance, whether it's some integration with Cardano and some games get cross-played or something. I don't know. It's good to be able to have. I don't know. It's kind of like giving back a little bit, back to the soil that you were kind of on. So I would consider it the same thing as just recycling or something.
Yeah, and I like what you said in the beginning about educating people because, oh, the auction house, like I love it because I know what I'm doing. But like for example, Walrus DAO stopped listing the degen divers because there were fakes everywhere. Like I was actually tracking these wallets, and it's like the same dude. He has like 50 NFTs in his wallets, and he just like renames them all. And he's just like waiting to like put new scams up. Like it's like a very deliberate and malicious thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
And there was just so many fakes. Like even my profile picture of the Ergosaur Hero Flames is
Oh,
there is a
that one
fake
had
on the
a
auction house
lot.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on there right now. So I'm
Yeah.
like, damn it. But yeah, education is so important, especially with like with Ergo because Ergo is such a deep ecosystem, which kind of got me. That's kind of why I started writing my articles. There's too much to know about Ergo, and just going, off the marketing thing, we need to educate people on Ergo because there's oracles, there's privacy,
Hmm.
there's NFTs, there's stable coins.
Yeah. I can do a mixer right
Just
now, and I could send funds anywhere I want, and no
exactly.
one's gonna stop me. Maybe that's how finance should be, but
Pretty cool.
there are
I
some there are some there are some problems with that, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Like I feel like I would get roasted if I gave my opinion on privacy
Yeah.
because I think it's great and I think it should be a fundamental right, but there's got to be something to like somehow combat the shady shit that people
Yeah.
would use it for. I don't know how you do that. I know that
I
can't
think
trump human rights, but it's a
I
I don't know.
I think one of the things is they had a ergo pool lending basically, and they're going to offer 50% APY, and I think they had it on the Ergo Foundation YouTube video, and a lot of projects offer like crazy APYs. Like if you're making more money on APY than you are on drugs, I think is what Arminio said. He's like, it's not legit.
100%. Yeah,
Um,
that's so true.
so it's shady. It can get really shady really fast. So I mean, I know a lot of the stuff on ErgoPad staking starts out really high APY, but it actually does settle down to what I would consider probably a reasonable level to expect.
Yeah.
And I mean, it still goes up and down today. So it's, um, I think, yeah,
Yeah, and like ErgoPad's tokenomics are also transparent. So it's
yeah,
like you know what you're getting yourself into. Like I stake ErgoPad, disclaimer, like I do. I have,
hmm,
I'm not worried about it at all.
yeah,
And I'm extremely skeptical. I am like if you know me from Reddit, my Reddit is skeptical crypto dude.
yeah,
So I'm literally like I question everything and I'm not saying like obviously not financial advice. I'm not saying to go stake ErgoPad, but I personally trust it. The tokenomics are transparent. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, if you don't know where the yield comes from, you are the yield. That's what they say. So be careful out there, guys.
yeah. Shoot, what was I gonna add to that? Um, yeah, no, it's tough out there. Um, I'll just leave a little bit about myself. I did mention I go to college. I'm a computer science major. Um,
Nice.
so my coding experience is a little bit higher level than yours is probably.
Oh, it's
Um,
much higher level than
yes,
mine.
it's
Mine is
probably it's
non-existent.
probably much higher level. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would
yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
like to be able to give back to the ergo space,
Mm,
in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's, I really like the game Pokemon a lot.
mm, sweet.
So there's something gratifying about having like a little avatar and being able to like evolve him continually.
Ooh, that's now you're giving me ideas. Hold
Yeah,
on here.
I like being able to have something that I know is never really like when you get Charmander, or even yeah, when you get Charmander or Charmeleon or Charizard, like playing Pokemon for the first time is always an experience because you'll find some like random Pokemon and you don't know what its full evolution is immediately, but as you keep growing with it, it becomes something more than it already is. So maybe that's an idea for NFTs. It definitely does sound like it's something that would bring a lot of people in, and enforce, not really enforce people, but incentivize people to be active, um, in the space. Not to mention the fact that your NFT would have to have, um, stats that change. So I think the only way that something like that is possible is you have to have probably a dedicated server, and they probably have to send their NFT in and be able to play with it, and that would be linked to an account. And then, if they want to save progress, or I guess when the server is ready to like do like a new season or something, they get back their NFT that they've been working on as like all the stats are there. So
That's super cool. Like I used to play Pokemon a lot when I was a kid too, and I remember you'd leave. I don't know how far back your Pokemon knowledge goes, but I think I'm a little bit older than you, so I grew up with like Gen 1,
yeah,
and I think actually it might have been in Gen 2, where you would leave your Pokemon in a daycare, and
yeah,
it would like, or like the egg or something, and it would hatch.
hmm.
Something like that. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with NFTs. Like
See,
it's we're really scratching the surface
when
here.
I saw the Ergosaur eggs, I thought, oh, so it's gonna become an Ergosaur eventually, right? And I had to look in the Discord, and I was like, oh, it's not going to do that.
However, I will say, and I'm not a part of the ErgoSearch team or anything like that, but I do hear in their Discord that there's a Dino Egg event coming. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
It could be
Dino
big. We
Dino Egg's
could
pretty
see
cool.
prices on dino eggs just shoot up to the moon. Um,
They were getting picked up a few days ago as well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dino eggs are wild. They go hard.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I have. I don't know if you have anything else, but otherwise, I think that'll conclude the interview, and we can revene, yeah, when more stuff's going on. Maybe season 3 of Ergo Champions.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
So you're a comp sci major.
Yeah.
Why haven't you developed an NFT project yet, or
Oh, that's a
what's the
great
holdup?
that's a great question.
What's the
uh,
holdup, man? Come on.
what's the holdup? Yeah. I I have like a struggle balance where like I feel like if I didn't deliver on a project super well, I feel like that would backlash me as
Mhm.
like my channel. And like I don't really like I would I if I were gonna do a project, it would be something exactly like that. It would be like Pokemon based, not Pokemon specifically because, I'm not trying to like get sued or anything or a cease and
Copyright.
assist. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be something entirely different, but it would definitely have. There's no real copyright on evolving something, so it would
No, and
definitely,
you can have inspiration
yeah,
for
it would
sure.
definitely be, something like that where you'd have an NFT and you could actually
Mhm.
grow with it. So you pick it up when you're like 18 and out of college, and you pick up your first Ergo NFT, or maybe you're like 12 years old and you're mining Ergo, on your PC, and you pick up your NFT. Which, by the way, I there's probably a ton of people that do that, and I don't even know who they are. But holy cow, mining Ergo on the on the power grid. So yeah, so no, it would be something like that. And then when you're like 30 years old, your the NFT just has a ton of stats, and I don't know if it would be purely based on rarity, but it would be really just based on like who does the most time on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there would probably be maybe a little bit of rarity to it. I mean, obviously, like a certain type would be better against a certain type, or they wouldn't be like I wouldn't have like the same types as Pokemon. It's got like Steel and Bug and stuff like that. I would definitely have like different stuff going on there. Maybe it's different mining algorithms fighting each other. Um, it would be interesting for sure. The level of which I want to do that, I have to complete a few other projects first. Um, get my JS knowledge up to par, and get my web development server knowledge up to par. And as soon as that happens, I will just full send commit on a project. Also, I'm terrible with art, so that might be a significant boundary. But I'm really good with pixel art, I think. So
Okay.
maybe we'll do that. I don't really want to do pixel art, but I feel like with a game like that, maybe it makes sense to do pixel art. Maybe.
Could or you could outsource it. There's
Yeah, I
no
could
no
outsource it too, of course. Yeah, you're right. I definitely could do that. I think it would be cool to have 3D player models. Those are also really cool. Um, yeah, there's a lot I could be doing, but I'll wait till I finish school. Maybe it's something I get bored with while I just still like live at home and I go to a community college. So
Mm.
eventually I'll have to transfer to an actual university and I'll be living in
Right.
like a dorm or an apartment. So I'll figure out exactly what I do there. So yeah, I mean, the grades come first right now. So
Oh yeah.
I got to be focusing on that and getting a high paying job where I can sink thousands of dollars into Ergo. No. Um, yeah. Uh, so yeah, yeah, like you said, the Dino Egg game is huge, man. I might pick one up tonight. Who knows? Um,
No.
I don't own any Ergo Store things, so maybe I need to get one for this Dino Egg event. Uh, so for sure, yeah,
I get those grades, man. I went to university for 7 years, so I know the time commitment that you're dealing with right now, and
yeah,
yeah, focus on that. Set your foundation, right? Like a lot of people are relying on crypto to make them rich. Like I think that's a horrible idea. I think
yeah,
you got to have a foundation. Get. I'm not saying you need a degree, but get a career or a job that pays your rent, pays your bills, and have crypto as you know hopefully something that catapults you, but have a foundation. So I think it's great that you have that mindset. That's
yeah.
smart.
Well, that was a fun time, and I will well, I'll end this stream, but yeah. So this was the interview with Ergo Champions, and we'll catch him around probably towards season 3, or maybe when some big things happen in Ergo. Who knows? The release of a lot of different projects coming towards winter could be a lot more people spending time inside. Could see some big things happening. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next interview. You have any ending words?
Uh, just make sure you educate yourself. I think that's something that's it's kind of
Yeah,
stuck in my mind. Just think about all those fakes on auction house. So
yeah,
educate yourself and also just do your own research before you get into. I don't even care if it's an ergo project. Like I'm bullish on ergo, but don't go off on anything that myself or yourself or people or what you hear on Twitter. Like look into it for yourself,
yeah,
guys, and
for sure.
just make sure your hard-earned money is going to something that you believe in.
Yeah, if I say like or go to the moon on Twitter, it's not like actually going to the moon. I'm just like,
Please, please, can I go to the moon sooner?
yeah. All right. So thanks for tuning in. And